Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things.
Hello, I'm Eric Waite, and this is my top 10 favorite whiskeys of 2018. Earlier this year, I did a top 5 go-to whiskeys. The criteria was it had to be affordable, available, consistent, and damn good. In this top 10, there is one criteria. It has to have the wow factor. Coming in at number 10 is a St. George Spirits Baller Single Malt Whiskey. This is an American take on a Japanese take of a Scotch whiskey. It has light plum notes, apple, pear, a very delicate whiskey with a lot of finesse and precision, with just a hint of smoke coming from the cooked barley and the barrels. This one really caught me off guard. I was not expecting that smoke factor in the whiskey. I gave it 90 points. Coming in number 10, St. George Spirits Baller Single Malt Whiskey. Coming in at number 9 is the Nikka Whiskey from the Barrel, a Japanese blended whiskey. It has notes of fresh pear, canned apples, a little bit of cinnamon, layers of baking spices, a little bit of vanilla, a lot of toffee coming in on it, super silky smooth, bottled at 51.4% alcohol by volume. This has got to be like the best Japanese whiskey I have ever had. I gave it 94 points. Coming in at number 9 is a Nikka Whiskey from the Barrel Japanese whiskey. Coming in at number 8 is the Compass Box Spice Tree Extravaganza. If you had the Spice Tree and then you go to the Extravaganza, you're immediately blown away by this whiskey. It definitely has the wow factor. Get layers of apple pie, peach cobbler, cinnamon, nutmeg, candied ginger, layers of vanilla. About $40 more than the regular Spice Tree, but it has the wow factor that really puts it into a whole nother category. I gave this 95 points. Absolutely spectacular, really seductive. Coming in at number 8 is a Spice Tree Extravaganza. Coming in at number 7 is the Douglas Laing Old Particular Highland Park 20-year-old. Absolutely superb. This not only has the wow factor, but this whiskey taught me the importance of not judging a bottle from a neck pour. Got together with Andrew from Scotch for Dummies. He came and visited me here in California. I was not really impressed at first, but about a week later, when I got below the shoulder, that's when I got the wow factor. This is a superb whiskey. Layers of fruit, well integrated smoke, a really nice long development, really complex. This whiskey was so fantastic, I couldn't keep to myself. So when I flew out to Indianapolis, Indiana, to get together with the Scotch for Dummies and a bunch of others for the Meat and Pete dinner, in which we tasted a number of delicious dishes paired with Highland Park whiskeys, I had to blind them on this one. And sure enough, this one stole the show. Absolutely spectacular, and that's why this one is my number 7 whiskey of the year. Coming in at number 6 is the Lot 40 Cask Strength Rye Whiskey from Canada. A whiskey I can't even get here in California. I attended the Whiskey Fest in San Francisco, where I met Dr. Don Livermore, the master distiller for the distillery, and during a lecture we were able to taste 6 whiskeys. And the second one we had was the Lot 40 Cask Strength, an absolutely spectacular whiskey. It's made from 100% rye, aged in new oak, layers of citrus, caramel, a hint of spice, really silky smooth, absolutely fantastic. Wish I could get it here in California. Coming in at number 6 is a Lot 40 Cask Strength from Canada. Coming in at number 5 is Elijah Craig Small Batch Barrel Proof. This is batch 917, bottled at 131 proof. I paid about $70 for this. Some places you can get around $50. Sometimes on the secondary market, it goes for over $100. I had gone through a number of Elijah Craig bottles, but hadn't had the barrel proof until I went to Wichita, Kansas for the Scotch Test Dummies 5th anniversary, and there I got to taste for the first time what they call the WOW Whiskey, and it definitely deserves the name. A lot of power, a lot of strength, intense caramels, butterscotch, vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg, nice silky mouth coating feel, and across the palate, real long finish. If you haven't had the Elijah Craig Small Batch Barrel Proof Bourbon, this for me sets the standards for quality, and particularly quality price ratio. It definitely brings the wow. Coming in at number 5, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Small Batch Whiskey. Coming in at number 4 and number 3 are 2 samples that I got from the Scotch for Dummies when attending the Scotch for Dummies Peat and Meat in Indianapolis, Indiana. Coming in at number 4 is the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society 3.305 Sense of Perfection. Coming in at 52.8% alcohol by volume, only 209 bottles produced, layers of dried fig, dates, raisin, real nice sherry notes, but it also had a savory character of barbecued meats and spice. Unbelievably long finish, really huge arc in its development, absolutely spectacular. Number 4 is the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society 3.305 Sense of Perfection. Coming in at number 3 is another sample that I got from the Scotch for Dummies, the Ballechin 12-year-old heavily peated Burgundy cask single malt Scotch whiskey, an unbelievable whiskey, layers of dried red fruits, fig dates, raisins, chocolate covered cherries, smoked bacon, barbecue sauce. It has both the sweet and the savory character to it. Coming in at 57.5% alcohol by volume, number 3 is the Ballechin 12-year-old heavily peated Burgundy cask single malt Scotch whiskey. Coming in at number 2, close runner-up to number 1, is the Ardbeg Dark Cove committee release. I really enjoyed my trip to Ardbeg. I'm a big Ardbeg fan, and this one is absolutely my favorite. Fortunately, I was able to pick up 2 bottles for about $150 each. I've now seen this going for over $400 here in the United States. Can't do a top 10 without doing at least one re-review. Intense, medium plus aromas of, wow, an integrated, caramelized, citrus, apples, pears, smoke. There's some savory character to it. Chocolate, chocolate caramels, salted caramels, fudge, raisinettes, actually grapefruit and citrus. Man, I could go on and on and on. Absolutely spectacular on the nose, on the palate. Wow. Wow. It's even better than I remember. A huge arc in flavors, a lot of savory notes, barbecued meats, followed by chocolate covered cherries. There's a citrus note at sort of at the center of it, salted chocolate, and just a waft of smoke interacting with all the flavors. There's even some red fruit notes, dried black fruits. There's a hint of nuttiness to it. It's just an unbelievably complex whiskey. Originally, I gave this 92 points. On the re-review, I'm gonna go 95 points. This is absolutely spectacular. That's why this is a WOW whiskey. Coming in at number 1 is a bottle that I brought back from my trip to Scotland when I visited Islay and went to the Bunnahabhain distillery, and that is the Bunnahabhain 2018 Official Moine Oloroso, an absolutely mind-blowing whiskey. It has salty caramels, smoky bacon, dried black fruits. It has both a savory and sweet character to it, a little bit of saltiness to it, a hint of nuttiness to it. Just a mind-blowing whiskey. It was so good that I couldn't keep it to myself, so I brought it with me to the Scotch Test Dummies 5th anniversary, shared it with friends. 2 of the Scotch 4 Dummies were there, 2 of them couldn't make it, so I had to pass it on, gave it to Mark and Drew to take back so that Andrew and Sean could also taste it. They absolutely love it. They all gave it 4 fingers. I gave it 97 points. Really hard bottle to find, but I have been seeing some, mostly in the UK and in Europe, for around 200 euros or pounds. If you can get your hands on a bottle of that, $200, not even a blink of an eye. Absolutely go for it. The best whiskey I've ever had in my entire life. All right, so 2018 has been an absolutely spectacular year. Enjoyed going to the Whiskey Fest, Whiskeys of the World in San Jose and San Francisco. Had a fantastic time going to London, meeting Jason, whiskey-wise. Went to Milroy's in the Soho district. Had an absolutely fantastic there, tasting whiskeys. Then went to Scotland where I met Aquavite, Roy, visited 20 distilleries. It was truly absolutely mind-blowing, a dream of an experience. Went to the Scotch Test Dummies 5th anniversary, had a fantastic time there, as well as the Scotch 4 Dummies, Meet and Pete. Had a great time there, meeting not only them again, but a number of different other followers and viewers, fellow whiskey lovers. And as great as all these whiskeys are, even more so is the time spent sharing them with fellow whiskey tubers and friends. Absolutely superb. And I'm looking forward to 2019, hoping to return to Scotland, perhaps take a trip to Kentucky, and make a trip down to Austin to see what's going on down there. All right, hope you had a fantastic 2018. Hope you have an even better 2018. Until next time, Slange. Hey, if you like my review, be sure to check out these other whiskey videos.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorites.